Power in any country does not rest in a single pair of hands. It is dispersed, contested, and shaped by context: legal, cultural, economic, and historical. Whether in an authoritarian regime or a liberal democracy, various actors compete for influence: heads of state, intelligence agencies, military forces, media empires, financial elites, and even criminal networks. Understanding who holds true power requires examining how these forces interact within the architecture of the state. In authoritarian or monarchical systems, power is centralized and often personalized. The monarch or dictator stands at the apex, controlling the state apparatus with little to no formal checks. Their authority is typically reinforced by the military, especially elite special forces, which act as both protectors and potential usurpers of the regime. A coup by these forces remains one of the few real threats to a dictator's rule. Intelligence agencies also play a pivotal role. Operating in the shadows, they monitor dissent, neutralize political rivals, and manipulate both foreign and domestic narratives. Their ability to influence without accountability makes them uniquely powerful within such systems. Below them lie the financiers and oligarchs, bankers, fund managers, and billionaires, who may not wield guns, but control the lifeblood of the economy. They influence decisions through patronage, control over industries, and sometimes by directly financing the regime. Often, they operate in a mutually dependent relationship with the ruler, exchanging loyalty for protection and access. The media in such regimes is typically state-owned or tightly controlled, serving to legitimize power and suppress dissent. Police forces enforce internal order, while a pliant judiciary offers legal justification for autocratic actions. Political parties, if they exist at all, are usually instruments of the ruling regime rather than independent actors. Entrepreneurs, civil society groups, and gangsters may exist on the fringes, but their power is heavily conditional and closely monitored. In contrast, liberal democracies present a more complex and institutionalized balance of power. At the top sits the leader of the governing political party, typically the prime minister or president, elected to implement a policy mandate. However, this figure's power is constrained by constitutional norms, parliamentary scrutiny, and the rule of law. A truly independent judiciary is one of the cornerstones of democratic power. Courts can review executive decisions, protect individual rights, and strike down legislation, making them powerful arbiters within the system. Intelligence agencies, while crucial for national security, are subject to oversight mechanisms, although their clandestine operations can sometimes allow them to act with disproportionate influence. Police forces and security services maintain internal stability, but operate under legal constraints and public accountability. The media, if free and pluralistic, functions as a fourth estate, setting public agendas, exposing wrongdoing, and influencing political outcomes. While it does not command formal power, its indirect influence is profound. Financial actors, bankers, billionaires, and corporate magnates, wield considerable influence through campaign donations, lobbying, and control of markets. Though they lack formal authority, their ability to shape economic and political priorities makes them indispensable power players. Special forces and the military, while highly capable, are strictly subordinate to civilian control, and their political role is minimal in a healthy democracy. Opposition leaders and minority parties may not hold immediate power, but their ability to rally public support and shape legislative discourse gives them critical leverage. Entrepreneurs, advocacy groups, and civil society organizations, through innovation and activism, also exert influence, especially in shaping public policy and values. Criminal networks and gangs, while sometimes locally powerful, remain fringe actors in well-functioning democracies. The distribution of power is fluid and deeply context-dependent. In fragile democracies or hybrid regimes, formal institutions may exist but be undermined by informal networks of military officers, intelligence operatives, or oligarchic interests. In such contexts, covert and financial actors can eclipse legally established authorities, turning the state into a facade. In stable democracies, however, power is more transparent and institutionalized, with robust checks and balances. Legal actors like judges and elected leaders tend to dominate, though media, finance, and public opinion exert significant pressure on them.